about like from search to Copilot using AI agents in the scientific literature discovery. But maybe the actual content will be a little bit extended this topic more than what we show in the title, because this one is decided last week. So first, oops. Okay, so basically I will introduce about like literary search and how we use AI agent to support that. And also our thoughts, like how we can use AI agents to further improve our researchers' ability and maybe enhance our ability in this task. And also something related to how we design the system using AI agents. So first, for search, yeah, search. Everyone knows search, right? So usually for our researchers in our school of medicine, we use PubMed a lot. Like as you can see here, I search COVID-19 vaccine. It will give you like 57,000 results, and you can scroll down, check each page and review. So that's PubMed, right? And also you can do Google Scholar. That's exactly the same. You can search the same word, but this time it will give you like a 1.9 million results. Definitely, I think I cannot finish read all of them this my whole life. So you're like just check the number and see, oh, that's a lot of. And also maybe like a Web Science. So people know this one. We have our journal paper indexed here. Then the journal will have like a impact factor. And we can use this one to conduct some literature review to get more comprehensive results. And also some people maybe know this one, the Semantic Scholar. You can also search the result. At least they claim they can use AI to support and maybe enhance the search and give you like a more comprehensive results. They also show like they have 1.1 million results for this topic, much more than PubMed, but smaller than Google Scholar. Anyway, it's still like a lot. You can see there are some like a PDF link and some general. And one amazing part is they will help you to generate something they call like a too long, don't read, this kind of like short abstract for you to read and get the basic idea of this paper. So this is also very helpful, right? And you can get the idea of all the papers, but it's still like a list. So similarly, if you are familiar with computer science, so you may know like this database called DBLP. It will give you all the index related to like computer science papers and conference and journals. Usually they can give you a lot of information about how this topic in computer science is filled. And also similar like PubMed, you can have API and export all the results from this website. And also you can see some statistics on the topics and the papers here. So next one, I guess also for computer science people, you know this one, IEEE. So it will also give you the index of all the papers indexed by relate to like IEEE, electronic and computer science and electronics. So those kind of topic. Well, our year also subscribed to this database, so you can go and see how it looks like. And just as you can see, it's similar like PubMed and others give you a list of all the results. And this time it's much smaller. It's just like a 1.4 thousand papers because this is completely different scope. And the next one, yeah, it's also something related to computer science, the ACM digital library. It will also give you some results. And this one, I guess maybe people know, the Science Direct, it's a publisher. So it will also give you a list like, oh, what a paper there. And also they are all indexed by those, they are all related to some journal articles and all indexed in this publisher. And the next one, it's another very famous publisher. Basically, you search something, it will also give you a list like this one. And also the faceted search on the left, like the content tab, published model, when it's published, you can also see some figure related to their proceeding because a lot of conference proceeding are indexed here. And the next one, I guess everyone know here, and I recently got some bad news from it. It's arXiv. So you can also search here and get a list of results. So basically that's most of the search engine we use in our daily research life, right? PubMed, Scholar, Web of Science, and also this one we publish our preprints. And if we use another one like a medRxiv or maybe bioRxiv, it's basically something similar. So we publish or upload our paper here, and then we can search and get the list. So everything can be like summarized into this kind of thing. You give a keywords. and you search, and you will get a number and endless list like this one. When I record this animation, it's really take a very long time. But I feel I do a quick math. If I scroll to the bottom of this list, it will take like a whole day. Then I just record like maybe a few seconds. So basically, that's all the literary search can give you. So usually a list, and that's all. If you want to answer your research question, or maybe want to know more, or maybe some insights from that, you have to read one by one and get the results, and maybe research again, and get the list again, and read that list again. So that's our team and our work want to address is how to enhance and improve this kind of experience, make it better from this ranked list of documents, hundreds, thousands of pages list into something like maybe easier we can explore, or maybe it's easier to understand, or maybe we can easier collaborate with others and maybe agents to help us to understand better about those documents. So that's how we design our system. Those goals are guiding us like a design our system to support those tasks. So that's how our visualization comes. So first we use text embedding to convert all papers, all the publications into points on here. So each point here, oh, I guess maybe the video is not that smooth. On my side, it's very smooth, but sometimes after Zoom, it's not that smooth. So basically, you can see we have a lot of points here. Each point is a paper. We use their title, abstract, and sometimes maybe their mesh term and other keywords to generate the embedding from that paper. So you can imagine like each paper can be represented as like a 7 or maybe 1,000 dimensions vector. Then next, we use some dimension reduction algorithm to convert that high dimensional vector into a 2D point. So just X and Y. Then we can plot each point on this map. And because we are using the text embedding and the dimension reduction, Disney or maybe UMAP, so when those papers have similar topics, or maybe they have something similar, they will be clustered into into a region. Like for example, around here, maybe all those topics are related to photography or maybe other topics here. And this region may be more related to Alzheimer's disease, and this area related to like COVID-19. So by using those text embedding and dimension reduction, we can easier identify those regions or topic clusters on this map. And as you can see here, each point we use some color to make it easier to identify. So currently we are in color all the points by their publication year. So if it's a point published recently, it will be lighter or maybe like this red points. So that indicates those points are published in recent years. And those darker like blue or maybe purple, those points may be published like 20 years ago, or sorry, more than that, like 50 years ago or 60 years ago. And we can see that the trend of the research landscape is changing like from the central area to other regions. And we can identify some new emerging topics like since 2020, we have COVID-19. And also you can see some points are bigger than the others because we are using their number of citations for that point to indicate, to use a citation as their size. So if it's bigger, that means it has more citations than others. Then we can also identify some very impactful paper on this map. Like for example, I do remember like around here, the green one, it's a very important DNA related paper. And maybe others around this area, there are some deep learning related paper. So they are highly cited and we can identify them from this map easier to know, oh, there are some important paper here. Maybe you can take a look. And also you may find some relevant information or maybe relevant useful paper around that point. So using this visualization, we can see a lot of things, and especially we can get an overview of how those papers of the search result looks like. And we can do more than that here. So for example, we implement a temporary filter. So when we drag the bar below, it will filter all the points based on their publication year. So we can see how those points pop up on this map. That indicates a research topic maybe emerging over time, and maybe the region or maybe the research direction changes over time. Oh, maybe I can play that again. So at the beginning, you can see the research mainly focus on this on the left area. And as time goes by, more points are pop up. Those like a green one, those regions. And after we dig in more, we know, oh, this region may be related to biology research or maybe other topics. And as time goes by, we see, oh, COVID-19 pop-ups and also those related to deep learning and AI. So after we seeing this one, we have, we can identify some very important topics like, for example, over the past 10 years, like the human genomics and the proteomics and the protein folding related to like those paper AlphaFold, those papers, and also especially the AI and deep learning. We can identify those points around here, and also, yeah, COVID-19. So it's easier for us to know which topics are popular over the time and where they are. And maybe there are some relevant topic we can identify, especially, for example, the COVID-19. When we zoom in on this area, we can find some papers maybe related to SARS, which happens like 20 years ago, yeah, more than 20 years ago. That's also related to the SIN syndrome, and also we have some SIN treatment plans, and also some studies focus on that area. Then we can find some relevant paper like a vaccine, and also epidemiology to protect the population. So it's easier for us to identify those things using this map. But now, like we can visualize them and see how things looks like. It's just like a visualization we can explore. But now, like everyone knows like, oh, beyond this visualization, what we want to see. So now we can see all the points there, but if we want to know more, we still need to go to that paper and read and understand and forget what we read and read again and read again. So usually that process is very painful and definitely will take a lot of time. So that's why we want to make the system better. Beyond this visualization, what we can do. So that's AI agents can help. As you can see on the right, I put the two videos here. That's what OpenAI and the cloud they claim. They have smarter, faster models published, and you can use those models to help you to do a lot of research. I even asked like a GPT, like, oh, what AI agents can help with our researchers? He said, oh, research is a field that heavily relate on your experience. So AI agents can help you and be research partners. And you can chat with them and ask any questions you want. So it also suggests some questions related to recent my work. I guess it's reading my context. So it knows like, oh, maybe these questions you can ask. And especially based on what they propose, you can integrate those agents with your system to make the whole workflow easier and basically make our life easier. So that's how we want to integrate them. And when we design the system, we think, oh, maybe there's two ways we can start. For the AI, so for the first one, we call it like AI as a patterner. So basically, as a researcher, to enhance the whole workflow, we just use AI as maybe another patterner or maybe a tool separate out of our system. You can just use those tools to work on your task, maybe summarize something or maybe search something, and also use them to summarize the result. So we call it AI as a patterner. That one, maybe it's easier and you can just use the tool. The second one, as a developer or as a product owner, so you usually will think like how to embed AI as a feature into our system. Like we have this MedViz we just showed, and also we have other chatbot and some agent system diagnosis and other all kinds of systems. So how can we embed AI into the system as a feature to enhance everything? But that one, I guess maybe it will take some time and we can discuss some thoughts we have. One, we listed like 3 items we can do here. Like first one, maybe the information retrieval. So sometimes if we want to search something or find some relevant information from the paper or from our EHR records, we can use AI to make that workflow more efficient. Or maybe we can make some context-aware interaction. Maybe we can ask some question about the paper, or maybe ask some details from several papers, ask the AI to summarize. And also maybe they can do some automated reasoning and task scheduling for us automatically. I guess maybe some of you know, like we can use Cursor or other tools. So those kind of feature can help you a lot in your research. So we believe these two ways we can leverage to start to use AI agents in our research. So let's go with the first one. So I guess this concept a lot of people know, and it's quite popular at early this year, the web coding. Well, this part it's written by Gemini. I guess ChatGPT will give you something similar. Basically, it's like a new development pattern. You don't need to write every line of code. You can describe your idea, and the AI agent can do all the rest. So basically, I think, yeah, that's a good idea. In fact, I also do a lot this kind of programming in my in my development. So maybe that's something similar, like for searching, or maybe for our research, like maybe we can call it web searching. So I asked GPT like, oh, if we use the same concept for searching, what can we do? It generates a figure like this one, and also gives some suggestion. Oh, maybe you can find the field of the research, or maybe give some ideas like how the ideas maybe from before you have the exact keywords forms. Maybe you can ask to give a general suggestion like how we can get the keywords, and also maybe you can use it to find some patterns from the literature. Basically, with those web coding tools or maybe other platforms, you can implement something like this way quickly just by using those platforms. You don't need to like develop a code to start. So for coding, I think a lot of developers here, you already know, like we have Cursor and maybe Copilot or Cloud Code, those kind of tool. In fact, you can also use those kind of tool for the research. So you can just give it like a folder of PDF files and ask it to summarize for you. And also maybe ask those to build some small dashboard to help you analyze or extract something into a table for you and form an HTML table. So those tools can help you. And another one is like web coding, searching those tools, for GPT and other, they have the deep research or whatever they call research function. So by just clicking on that option, it will turn on the AI agents for research. So that will help you to dig into a research topic and give you a list of papers, how it finds that useful to your research, and also give you some summarized answer and also give you the link. Sometimes we feel it's really helpful at the beginning if you don't have much idea of how those things looks like. It at least give you a list of papers. Oh, maybe they are relevant to your research. You can take a look. And if you don't want to take a look, we can also quickly summarize some information for you. So those deep research tools are quite interesting and you can try. Usually I will maybe use the first two, and sometimes I also found the rest also very helpful. You can ask it to summarize or generate like a mini systematic review or some kind of scoping review easier, and also screen the paper for you. So that's some web searching or web coding tool you can use directly and use it as a partner with your research. Then for developer, oh yeah, another thing it's related to that one, it's although it's useful, sometimes it also have some challenge. In fact, I delete some of the challenge here. It's I'm not really sure whether it's a challenge for now, but these are still the thing. So sometimes the result definitely it's like some polish you need to review and check one by one to ensure it meets what you expected. And also sometimes the structure or maybe the scope is out of your desired scope. So you need to check whether it's correct or not. And sometimes it will generate some fake results, like those citations or reference. I check the link, it doesn't work. I'm not sure how they get the link to that paper or some web pages. So you need to ensure the result looks okay to you. And also, since it's a new technique, so sometimes how you write the prompt is also important. To write the correct prompt to make the system work, it's also some kind of thing you need to practice. So I think that can be also helpful to not only the development, but also for the research. especially when we're developing the system. You also need to customize the prompt to make the system work. Then the next one is more related to the AI as a feature. So for developer or maybe for us, when we develop the system, we want to integrate AI into the system. So that's one example, like for example, everyone knows Google Gmail. So if you use Google Gmail, you will find, oh, they provide something like in Gmail, Gemini. It can help you to summarize the email or maybe help you draft the reply. And when you use it, you will feel, oh, it's just a natural process, like you reply your email. You directly write your prompt with the email thread and maybe ask, oh, help me draft a reply to accept this invitation, or maybe help write something. So the workflow, you didn't interrupt the workflow. You don't need to copy the email to another system to address and then copy back the context, copy back the response. So everything just happens within the current workflow. That's very important for us to design the system. So we want something like a user can stay in our system and finish all the tasks with AI. So we don't want user to like switch back and forth between different contexts. In fact, that's very inefficient. So that's one example. If we design something like maybe in the email thread, this conversation, we can embed a text box within the current UI and make it smooth. And another one like Google, they also integrate Gemini into the Google Doc. So when you write something, you can highlight the text, then you can ask it to like rephrase or maybe shorten or maybe more formal or change the tune, or maybe you can just write your own prompt to ask the agent to do something for you. So that's also relevant to our workflow within the documents. So basically we want to revise or proofread or maybe change the language. So sometimes this kind of task is quite common. If without that, we need to like, for example, copy this text, then paste it into OpenAI or GPT, then write some prompt, then copy back the text. But within the same UI, you can make this whole process easier. And also they provide another like a chatbot on the right side. So you can always like using the chat interface to do whatever you want. And they will also provide some suggestions like, oh, maybe we have some writing editor, they can help us to generate some structure, or maybe they already generate a summary of the text. Then you don't need to rewrite the summary. But those like predefined operations on this workflow, so that can help users to make the whole workflow easier. They don't need to copy paste and switch the different context.
In Google Doc, you can for all those Gemini feature too. Are they good?
No.
Compared to
well, at least for some part, I think it's pretty nice. Like the rephrase, at least it will generate a completely different tune of the syntax. But sometimes it feels really like AI generated text. But that can be improved by updating the model. So definitely it can be better next in future.
If works on Google Doc, that's great. Because right now I kind of to GPT revise, copy back to Google Doc.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the Google Doc, Google Slides, and Google Sheets, they all integrate with Gemini. So that one is like a built-in feature. So it's easier to use those kind of features here. So it's just highlight the text, then ask any question about the task, rephrase, rewrite, or maybe on the right, write our outline.
Maybe you have to pay for a version, which is better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
the paid version better?
Currently I'm already using the paid version, but I feel it's not that good. The language maybe not that polished, so it works, but the model itself may need to be improved. Yeah, but anyway, it shows like how we can integrate those AI agents into your workflow. So that's just like those daily software you use, then it can help you make life easier. And hopefully it can do better in future. So another one, it's a software called Open Evidence. I guess this one, it's many people here, you already know, like you can ask a question, get some evidence from the literature, and it will give you the reference. So basically, it's like a new feature. We don't have this kind of workflow before. But since this one, if you want to propose something new, you need to design how the UI looks like and make that UI meet the new requirements. Like this one, when we want to have evidence of something, we definitely need to know, oh, how the evidence comes from and how it should looks like. And we want to easier to access the original source. So those kind of, just like a paper, this kind of layout makes the UI easier to use. And when we design the system, we also like borrow this kind of idea to make the system more like an existing workflow. So that will make it easier. So that's the reference. And another one, it's yeah, so it's a recently published paper. Maybe I guess maybe still in preprint. So it's like when we do those kind of biomedical research, we can have this like a two-column design. Like on the left, we can ask some questions, like maybe ask the agent to do some analysis on the data set. Then on the right, it will be like a Jupyter notebook look like UI to show how the each steps look like and how the agent give you the final answer. So those kind of UI design, integrating the AI, integrating the agents can also help us to easier to navigate and understand how the agent works behind the scene, and also give you maybe more confidence to know how each steps worked. And one thing I feel it's very important for this one, it's you can anytime you can stop this process and you can review each step and maybe repeat or maybe replay the step to maybe try to make it work on another workflow. So usually by integrating this kind of design, we can make the agent more, it's called like a transparency or maybe better can be reused. So similar another one, I guess maybe people here doesn't use this one a lot. It's from our EL library. So recently, not recently, 2 months ago, they updated their homepage. So instead of like just searching keywords, so now you can also ask a question about what book you want to search, and you can give the keyword, not the keywords, you can just say the question here, and then they will call the AI agents, but they can integrate with EL library database and tell you, oh, this book, it's helpful for answer your question, and where is it? And we can provide you a link. Then you can click the link, then directly go to that book. Then maybe you can reserve or maybe borrow that book. So that can be integrated into the database system and help user to search and get the result better. So those kind of integration is also interesting, like just based on the existing workflow, and instead of asking keywords, you can just ask the question, and the whole workflow is basically the same, but covered by AI agents. Then another one, yesterday I just found that for those publisher like elsewhere, they have the Science Director. Now you can also have this called reading assistant. You can ask a question about a current paper. If you are open a paper, it will pop up like a reading assistant. Then it will summarize some general question for you. Oh, maybe I open a COVID-19 paper. It will give you some suggestion. How does this one contribute to this one, and also some following up question. And also you can ask more questions about this paper. So that's, I'm not really sure how they implement, but the concept is simple. When you read this paper, maybe you just want to get the basic idea of this paper and maybe the key findings or maybe the methods. Instead of reading the whole paper, you can just ask the question here. And because everything happens within this page, you don't need to like switch back and forth, copy paste, those kind of things. So that's also quite helpful. And in fact, for this one, if you are using Google Chrome, you will find the new, the latest Google Chrome will also give you a button at the top right. When you click, it can read the current web page, and you can ask any question related to this web page to give you answer. So if you open like a paper or a PDF, then you can ask it to summarize the PDF. If you open like another policy or something, it can also ask some question related to that. So that's also some kind of enhancement for the tool. And if we have already have an existing workflow like our later research, we also want to integrate this kind of function to enhance the implementation. Then another one, maybe it's not directly related to the literature, but it's also related to our work. I guess our programmer knows like this one is Cursor's UI. So in Cursor, like you can highlight the text or highlight your code, then ask, oops, sorry. Then you can ask some question, like maybe, oh, revise this function, or maybe check something here, or maybe revise the code, or maybe do a refactor. So within this code editor, because for programmer, we use this editor every day. So that will give you the convenience like to improve the efficiency more. And also they also provide the chatbot. So you can submit your task directly in the chatbot, then it will create everything within the IDE. Then within the IDE, you can check the progress. So that's very helpful one. I guess in addition to Cursor, current like Microsoft Copilot and Augment Code, they also have something similar. So basically within your current workflow or the software, it can be enhanced by AI agents. And the next one is another tool, maybe more relevant to developers. It's called like a terminal tool or terminal interface. So this tool, basically, when we go to the Linux terminal, usually we need to type commands like ls to list the files in the folder, cd a director to go to a folder. But that's the simplest. If you have some very complex server management, like, oh, restart these engines and deploy software. So usually that will involve several steps, like maybe dozens of commands, and you need to type every single parameter correctly. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So something like, oh, I want to deploy a product to a server, then I will just say, oh, deploy this one to production. Then agent will help you to build the Docker image and detect what environment available in this server and help you to set up everything there. So it's, I feel it's quite helpful for us to do this kind of things easier, and that will make the development easier. So that's some AI as a feature. So we want to integrate those things into our system. But for now, our system is still under development, so I guess maybe we can save the demonstration to next time. So at last, so for AI as a feature, I guess maybe I guess for us, it's most of us already know this topic, like what's the language model, and also what are the contexts here. So if you are not really familiar, you can check the video. I think they gave a very good introduction to language model. Then you can learn like, oh, what's the basic concepts there and how to use them. But for here, I want to say, if we integrate AI as a feature into our system, be aware of the context of the AI or maybe the agent. Try to give as precise or as clear instructions as and also the context information. Just like in the MedViz, we give the user selected papers or maybe where they are or maybe where they pointed those context information to the agent. Then the agent can answer your question with a better understanding of what you want. So the context understanding is very important. So last, I want to thank all our postdocs and students, developers, designers, librarians, and collaborators. They helped a lot in the development of the system. So that's definitely a lot of effort here. Some people already left, but we all have their photos here. Okay, so that's also our system. If any want to try, go to that website. Yeah. Thank you. That's all.